So, hello, and welcome to the live version of Stitch Method Live. And I know the title is weird, and we'll talk about everything. So, for those of you who are here, or will be here, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff from what to do, from questions I got from students or subscribers that I look over and I say, you know what, it's about time. It's like about time to address some of these questions. So first, before we get started, we are going to thank one of my students, John, who roasted me a batch of coffee, and it was delicious. Ethiopian yirgacheffe, I think is what it was. Fantastic. So thank you, John, and there's that. Now, most of you who are here, and hello everybody, I'm not going to address the chat just yet. I'm just going to go over the feed, what we're going to do. Now, you can see by the title we have a couple questions. I addressed Cheddar Kung Pao, who is a subscriber, and I also address Thomas B. And really quickly, if we're going to do this, and we're going to do this right, I want to read to you the questions. And the questions come from, this one I just got today, and I'm like, you know what, let's just address this, which is, hey Ian, I asked myself this test question and answered it. I need someone who knows to tell me if it's right. Thanks, Tom. So, really quickly, it says, what scales are compatible with the A minor vamp, or change or progression, and why? So, the question is like, what could we be doing over an A minor chord? And there's a lot. So he lists a couple of them. Now, before I go through it, the question is well, what are we going to be playing over an A minor vamp? Just an A minor vamp, right? I should get the looper going right about now. That'd be a fun time. So, if I have the looper going, and I get an A minor chord going, I can see my kid's foot coming through the closet, and I have this loop going. Hey, Jonah. Yeah, I have my kid. Here's my kid, yes? How can I help you?
What about my medicine?
I'll give it to you. I'll go back to bed, and I'll give it to you in a couple minutes, okay? Thank you. Love you. Yeah, that's my kid. Okay, so I have my A minor. Thank you. I have my A minor chord going here. Now, the obvious one right off the bat is the A minor pentatonic. Okay. So if I was on an A minor jam, I'd be doing the A minor pentatonic. A couple things about it, and we're going to develop it from here. And I know I've talked about this on my channel, which is the A minor chord has the 1, the flat 3, and the 5. Okay, that's the A minor, 1, flat 3, 5. So you kind of want to know where these are off the bat. These are going to help you give you resting places. So for an A minor pentatonic, 1, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3. These are all great places to land, to play with, kind of like. So I'm kind of playing the A minor pentatonic, and I'm just kind of sitting there with the 1s, 3s, and 5s. My loop is terrible. I'm going to redo that loop. So that's first A minor pentatonic. Let me get another loop going. Let's see. Let's see if that one's better. All right, so now, he lists A minor pentatonic in all positions, yes. He lists A Aeolian, of course, same reason. A minor chord, A minor scale. Now, the thing is that the distinctive note of the A minor scale is the minor 6. This one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6. That guy right there is the special note, really. You have the 1, 3, 5, but this note is what changes a lot. So, if you're going to do the Aeolian on top of an A minor jam, you want to make sure that you kind of like put in this minor 6, because, oh, finally, you'll see, buddy. You'll see, okay? Now, So far we have the A minor pentatonic and the A minor scale. No big whoopee. Then he lists D Dorian. And you can do D Dorian. There's no problem. No, hold on. D Dorian. That would be a C major, which is the same thing as A minor. So strike that because you don't want A minor and D Dorian the same thing. C major is number 1. D is D Dorian, and A is the 6. So like at this point, Tom, this is addressing to you. You listed the same scale. E Phrygian is the same exact thing, and he listed this again, and he said is the E Phrygian, and absolutely, like they're all the same thing. An A minor, a C major, a D Dorian, E Phrygian. These are all versions of the A minor scale, but. The thing is try and use your try and use the parallel mode thing that's going on. Okay, so what we got is you got that's I gotta stay focused here before I get to the chat. So now A minor pentatonic, A aeolian, fantastic. But if I were you got to think of the scales that are going to be that are going to have those chord tones, the 1, the flat 3, and the 5. And this is where knowing your modes comes in. So let's talk about Dorian. Okay, so A Dorian. And so yes, we'll get to modes. A Dorian is just like the minor scale, but here's the deal, and I want to make sure that this makes sense, is that the A minor chord is just a 1, a flat 3, and a 5. And so if you have a scale that has a 1, flat 3, and 5, then we've already bound together with those notes, right? We've bound together, and it's all good. And then we can play with the 2s and the 4s and the 6s and the 7s because we already have bound the A minor. So if you try an A Dorian, which is a 1, a 2, a flat 3, a 4, a 5, a major 6, a flat 7, and the 1, you can do the same exact thing and get a little bit of a different sound. What is on my finger? Oh, copper paint. That's copper paint. Sorry. Okay. All right. A Dorian is an option because it's a minor scale and it has the 1, flat 3, and 5, and has something different to offer. Now, also another thing you can do is you can play A Phrygian, okay, which is the same thing as a minor scale, right? But now we have a flat 2, okay? It's there. Yes. And what you want to listen to is these special notes. Okay, 1, flat 2. That doesn't mean messing up, okay? It's okay, everyone's so behind, it's okay. The pentatonics are enough, and we addressed this right at the beginning. The question that I had from an email, which is what I'm doing, is what can you play over an A minor vamp? I've already discussed the A minor pentatonic, works great. A minor scale, fantastic. A Dorian, sure, if you like that sound. A Phrygian, it's going to sound like the minor, but it has a flat 2, which always has this ominous sound, which I love when it comes back home. Oh, the question is a vamp. A vamp is when they hold a chord. Like in a groove jam. I should have started off with that, right? We're just kind of grooving on A minor. Kind of like this little loop. It's a little slower. So now, here is my A Phrygian, here right off the bat. Don't mind the copper paint in my ring finger. I was painting something. So here we go. Alright? So you can hear, like... Hey, Fred. How are you, buddy? Okay, now, I'm not addressing the chat just yet because I want to teach my lessons, but hey, Sean! Hey, Sean, good to see you. All right, so, to answer your questions, and I want you guys to do this at home, which is, the question is, what kind of scales can you play over an A? Now, don't worry, Cheddar Kung Pao, you're coming next. What kind of scale can you play over an A minor chord? If you have an A minor static chord jam, you can throw in any scale that has an A minor triad, right? Which has the 1, the flat 3, and the 5. And so you have your options. You have pentatonic, you have aeolian, you have Phrygian, you have Dorian. You don't have Locrian because there's a flat 5, but you can, what I want to say is you can throw in the flat 5 as passing tones. And what a lot of guitarists like to do is what I find the most tasty for me is the Dorian with a flat 5. So it's like, what is this guy talking about? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, flat 5, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, flat 5, 5, 6, flat 7. So you want to learn like what that 6 has to offer, and then usually you hear guitar players like doing the flat 5, but more as a passing tone. It's very exotic, but you find that stuff. Okay, so that is the portion of just, here's the deal. If you want to find out what goes, what you can do on top of an A minor, it's any A minor scale. Any scale has an A minor that has the 1, flat 3, and the 5. Let's call it Dorian Ionian. I like it. It's up to you to figure out what scales that you can use. So now, well, you know what? Before I address that, Thomas Malone asked a question, which is great. Why can't you use every mode? Well, because you'll have too many like marbles in the pot and too many sounds, right? So the thing is you want to study each mode and understand what each special note is in the mode. You know, in the minor mode, Aeolian, that minor 6 is the special note. In Dorian, the major 6. You know, and in the Phrygian, it's that 2. And it's all the effect of how they come home to the 1. So instead of like having this monster scale where you're just like playing everything and it's like, oh man, this should sound good because you can play everything. It's like, no, yes, too many crayons in the box. You got to choose your color. You got to choose the flavor of the week, and you got to sit with it. You can change. You can change. You can say, I'm going to start off in pentatonic. I'm going to go Dorian. Put a little Phrygian in there. I'm not answering questions just yet. We're going to wait for the question and answer. But I hope that made sense for the live people in the playback. Now we're going to talk about Cheddar Kung Pao. Now I'm going to address Cheddar Kung Pao. He's a subscriber who we always engage, me and Sean, and I'm just going to make sure that he's listening. I think I saw him. And I want to talk to Cheddar Kung Pao. He's a subscriber, okay? And I'm going to wait for him to say hi because I'm looking right at you. It's not a bad thing. There we go. Okay, don't get nervous. All right, so everybody can see him. All right, first of all, Cheddar Kung Pao just got an awesome PRS guitar, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he made a video of it, and it's like, great, got a great axe. And I teach a lot of people every week, from every single, like, from beginner to intermediate to advanced, who just want to get some of the theory down. And I hear a lot, and this is not a bad thing, okay? This is not a bad thing. I heard something in your playing. He made an awesome video, and I heard something playing. It's not bad. Everyone's watching this channel right now to get better at guitar, and I want to do it. But I want to address this, which is how to get the best tone out of any of your instruments. All right? I have this discussion with a lot of my students, and no matter what guitar you're playing, you need to have your tone. You know, whether your favorite guitar player is Stevie Ray or Trey or Jerry or Eric Clapton or Slash, you know, they can pick up any guitar and they can get their voice through. Even if their tone settings are different amp, you can be like, that is definitely this guy's playing. And so the question is, how do you develop our tone? So Cheddar, when you played your riff for me, I heard your tone. This guy, Cheddar, he made me a get well video because I had my nose surgery, which my nose is doing great. And I heard his tone. And I said, you know what? This is the tone that I hear a lot of my, hey Don, a lot of my students and a lot of people I hear, they have this tone, and they know their knowledge, but they want to get better at the tone. So I want to address this because I want all of you to get better at this one thing, because it engages you so much as a guitar player when you really try to do this. Now, I've talked to some of my students. Let's get to it. All right. Now, the Stitch Method riff, we're gonna do that. You know, you've heard it. This part. Oh. If I can play it, right? All right, let's just talk about that. When you're playing guitar, you need to make sure that your left hand and your right hand, both of them, line up and hit the string at the exact same time down to the nanosecond, like down to the nanosecond. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, if I play this note here, this is already down. But watch how when I put my ring finger down here, if my ring finger touches this string a millisecond before my intention to pick, it kills the note, and you get a staccato sound. You can hear hear the note almost go warble, right? Okay, so now we want to get that out of everyone's playing. Everyone. And Cheddar, I'm not using you as an example. What I'm saying is, like, I hear this, and I'm there too, and you always want to develop your tone, and you have such good chops and good speed, and I want you to get better at your tone. And this is me saying, you know what, this lesson is for you live, and I don't want you to feel embarrassed. I want to let you know that you and everyone in this pot need to do this, and there's a lot of us that need to work on this. So now, here we go. What you need to do is first is you definitely don't hear it. Okay, so now here's the deal. Is listen to the difference between this verse what's happening is this hand is touching this string a second before this hand touches. You know, everything in life is about timing. Everything in life is about timing, and your tone, believe it or not, and your playing is about timing, down to the nanosecond. So the stitch method riff here, those notes need to go right into each other. It's not bop, bop, bop. It's ba-da-da. So you got to get your throat vibrating. Now, I've taught this lesson to several of my students this week, and I had such great results. I want to give it to you. You want to make sure you are hammering into the next note, not hammer technique, but like you're getting right legato. Exactly, we're going to get there. You don't want staccato, which is the space between. We don't want that. You want legato. Every note, if your intent is legato, if you hear ba-da-dum, then you got to work on this guy, ba-da-dum. You don't want any dead space, okay? And so this comes with stretching and timing. And we want to work towards, you kind of want to sing with it. And the whole idea of why you want to sing with this, the whole idea is because the singing lets you know exactly how long that note needs to go for. Now, if you listen to the song, now Cheddar, let me know if you hear it. There you are, because when I was trying to get a good take, I was working on note definition. Good. Now, Cheddar, here he is right here on the chat. I hope that you don't feel embarrassed or attacked. Okay. I feel like in my other, they were running together too much. Okay. Now, I hope this is for you, buddy, and this is for everyone. You can see everyone already chiming in like, this is good, okay? Okay, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. I feel bad. You're like, no, it's fine. Your playing's not bad. You can see everyone's in this boat. It's not you. It's just you sent me something, and I said, you know what? Like, I've never addressed that, and that's something I hear all the time when I walk into all the guitar centers and Sam Ash's, every place. You know, you hear people, and they're good. It's just, unfortunately, we're not getting tighter on this, like, nanosecond level. So, legato scales. So, let's talk about... So here we go, is you want to practice closing your eyes, singing through ba, da, and getting ba, and letting your throat vibrate for the amount of time that thing needs to ring. Ba, da, da, and making sure that pick and these fingertips are exactly lined up at the right moment. You know, one of my students, Ben, I was talking to last night, I was teaching the beginning of You Enjoy Myself. We had this... And that thing is legato as legato can be. And we had to sit and practice each move. Ba-dum, ba-da. Oh, if I can play right. And practice slowly getting the fingers to move. And this is much harder than everyone thinks it is, but you want to start the journey now. You want to start singing with your notes and getting your timing of your fingers and the intent for the exact length of the note, the exact length to ring in next to each other. Now, I hope that all made sense. Now, before we get to the question and answer period, I discussed the A minor scale. I discussed, the only reason, Cheddar, again, you're the man. You're one of my favorite subs because you're always there and you send me emails and videos, and it's great. So you inspired this lesson, not because you're bad, you don't suck or anything. It's just I hear this in a lot of my students, and I've never addressed it. Okay, and so I want to give you that gift of like studying that because it gets you closer to your instrument as a guitar player. It starts to make you feel your intent. It starts to make you feel, oh, you know what? My soloing is not from the momentum of my fingertips. My soloing is from like how I want to breathe through it. And so practice. Okay, cool. Okay, love Cheddar. Okay, nice. Just really quickly, I don't know if I mentioned if you're here, but one of my students who lives in Seattle roasted me a pound of coffee, and it is effing delicious. So there you go. Okay, so now I'm going to wave my hands. This is the portion where the lesson is over, and I will sit and I'll answer some questions. It is good to be back. The only reason, oh, by the way, I didn't have a video on Tuesday because my computer broke, so I had to take it there. Good coffee. Cheddar, you're okay? You're the man. You're the man. You know, man. Can you do In the Mind of... It's still got the blues, yes. Oh, no, you live in flat. If it's a good lesson, good for me to work on, so thanks. Okay, yes, you inspired it, and you just inspired because, you know what, I hear it all the time, and it was the most recent thing. I said, oh, yes, that's what I want to do. Okay, discussion. Do I ever use a capo on electric? Oh, you can. I mean, like... But you don't really want to. Are you still thinking about doing Watermelon Man? Yeah, I forgot this. I have to write this stuff down. I have no memory anymore. Watermelon Man. I also am going to be doing oh, woohoo! First live feed. Hello, Larry K. Larry K 123. Somebody asked me what was the last aha thing you learned? Oh man, I learned everything today. I think it was today. How much to evaluate of playing? We send you a video. How much to evaluate of? Well, I don't know. I'm review videos. I don't know. Like an evaluation, like here's my playing, what do I need? Like put together a plan for you? I don't know. Email me at stitchmethod@gmail.com. I prefer lighter guitars. Do you ever need a capo? Yeah, you need a capo if you play a song that has a capo because you're going to need that open sound. You know, if you're playing Here Comes the Sun on the 7th fret, you know, you need it. Best... Thank you, Edward. That's very nice. I've already done Sultans of Swing. One Mac Crack 1. Go to my channel. In the Mind of Mark Knopfler. Sultans of Swing is on there. And enjoy it. It's a good video. Let's see. Finally, my getaway from work week. Oh, nice to have you. Like what you did just for Kung Pao. That kind of evaluation. Yeah, and you know, I hope that I know what it's like to be called on in class and like, oh crap, you know, and I don't mean that. Who do I prefer? Sorry. I don't mean it like that. It's just I'm inspired. So, it's very nice of you, everyone. Keith Richard plays a ton of stuff with the capo. Yes, he does, and he also has an alternate tuning. Yeah, I'm going to see you tomorrow, right, Don? Yeah, 12:15. Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. BB King or Buddy Guy? You know, I have to say BB King only because like he really. Buddy Guy's great. I mean, I've seen Buddy Guy 2 times. You know, I've never seen... Buddy Guy's great, but I feel like... I just feel... Joseph, hold on for 1 second. We're going to talk about... B.B. King just had, like, a good flair. New practice pattern. I learned nevertheless very well. It changed my life. Now I need a good routine to practice. What kind of routine should I step in? The Blues Primer playlist. Trust me, get into it, then take the Blues Masterclass. And that's not me trying to get $13 from you. It's just the way you want to do it. In one of your Mixlin videos, you mentioned using the... Oh my god, this goes so fast. You mentioned using the minor 6th in... major 6th edition. Wasn't sure... Oh, you're talking about... Oh man, what was I doing? I remember... Yeah, the minor 6. What that was for the Mixolydian Jam. That just adds a special note. That's just a great note that has a good little twang to it. I remember that video, but I don't remember the context. I think it was just, and I was playing. Anyway, so I forgot what it was. I have to look at it. Oh, by the way, way off subject. One of my students, James, who I think he's... Yes, it's the alien flavor. Thank you very much. You were paying attention. One of my students, James, he was like 13, 14, 15, started taking FaceTime lessons with me not too long ago. He got into jazz band, and we've been hitting his jazz band stuff real hard, and tonight was his first concert, or last night was his first concert, and the guy looked good. I was very, very excited for him. Speaking of the Blues Primer playlist, will you ever add more blues tricks to that playlist? The blues tricks are going to be coming in the form of the Blues Masterclasses, which I got to get my ass on. It's just, there's so much going on. It's ridiculous. I have a tough time playing cleanly. Well, this is what we're talking about. Playing cleanly is about really listening and like listening to your timing. You know, you want to hum through a note, and if you can't play exactly what you're humming, not note-wise, length, duration. If you can't, you know, I don't know how many. Again, you can email me at Stitch. I don't use the capo. You can email me at stitchmethod@gmail.com. You know, this beginning of You Enjoy Myself has the most legato thing. You can see, watch this, like, you know, boom. You can see that ring finger is playing before the pinky comes up, right? And look, that first finger's down, still ringing as this note plays. This note comes here, and this note is here. So you can see, like, I'm handing off these notes, and I'm breathing through it. I know the riff. So I'm really breathing through, making sure that my timing of my breath and my fingers are exactly the same. And that's that. So yes, all right. So anyway, more questions. I have some time. Let's see what time it is. I have to teach a FaceTime lesson after this, but you have to go in like 10 minutes. So breathing. Are you seeing Fish New Year's? I'm not seeing Fish New Year's. I'll be in Florida. Who would you say is an underrated guitarist that doesn't even get these? I don't know. I don't know much of the Black Keys. I'm sorry, Joseph. Do not kill me. I know some of the riffs. I taught some of them. I thought they were intriguing. They're very like pentatonic based. I mean, they were good, but I just teach so much. Matt Schofield. Don't know anything about Matt Schofield, so you can email me like a playlist at stitchmethod@gmail.com. All right, so let's sit and talk for a little bit. I hope that you enjoyed that portion. I know that YouTube kind of let you down in terms of Bill, what kind of question is that? I think it's 12 string. Roy Buchanan, very good. I practice on acoustic more, electric. No, practice on acoustic. Oh yeah, John Frusciante, In the Mind of. Yeah, I'm gonna. It's actually more gonna be a Masters of Melody, I think, for John Frusciante. What are some good resources to learn R&B, neo soul, and jazz? I think everyone knows what's coming with this. You know, as soon as you mention where's a good place to learn jazz, you're not. Take no offense, you're not ready to learn jazz if you have to ask, like, where do I take jazz lessons? Because jazz is just the extension of what you know. Jazz is like breaking through the wall in the blues and understanding it. So you need to study the blues. Study all the blues you can. Jazz is varsity blues, okay? So I heard Tim Armstrong on plugs. Sorry, FX. Where does the beard stand? Oh, because it's the tone. You need to check out Marcus King. Oh, Marcus King, yeah, I've seen him open up for like oh my god, the guy, my memory, I swear, memory after the surgery is just kaput. Warren Haynes, Jesus Christ, sorry. On average, how many hours do you sleep a night? Tom, let's think about that. I sleep about 7 or 8. I get a good night's sleep now, I do. What modes are commonly used in playing the blues? That's a loaded question, man. I do not in any way associate modes with blues, because I feel like that's the wrong way to think about the blues. I don't think blues players at all are thinking about modes. I think that Berklee students who play the blues think about modes, and they can't play the blues. Sorry, I feel bad saying that. Like, oh snap, right? But like, it's not about modes. You know, you can fit a Dorian in, but it's not really a Dorian. You know, that major 6 is coming from the 4 chord. So you can look at it and say, oh, look, it's a Dorian, but it's like, no, you're only going to hit that note on the 4. Like, and Mixolydian, yes, but not too much. If you throw Mixolydian, you're playing jazz. Blues is the minor pentatonic, like blues as we know it. Not minor blues, not major blues. Blues is the minor pentatonic with all the chord tones possibly. And when you stare at it, you can, like staring at one of those pictures from the mid-90s where like it's all like fuzzy, and then all of a sudden you see this thing appear. You can see modes, like you can see modes there, but it's not modal playing. I mean, like, it's not, it's about chords and being conscious of them. Yes, it's about the chords. Where can you use chromatics in the major scale? Anywhere you want to. A very famous chromatic, though, is going, 6 flat 7, 7 to 1. That's the easiest one to climb home. So it's like, oh, the microtone, you're talking about bending that 3, flat 3 up to the major third. You can use that, but that's leading towards a chord tone. Well, I feel a salty blues comment coming on. Whatever. Whether it's from me or someone, like, what looper do I use? I use a modification of the ditto, but I gotta get a real ditto. Minor over major for blues. Minor over major. Yes, you can play a minor pentatonic over a major chord, which would be a 7th chord. That's the sound. That's the that's like the germ of the blues. That's the germ of it. Good to see you too. Play the guitar, please. Oh yeah, I have a guitar in my hand, right? I will tell you, somebody emailed me a question and said, before we begin, wow, I don't know anything about guitar. Why am I here? And no, just listen. Listen, Jenna, you can play. You'll get on. Talk about microtones. Microtones are just the notes in between notes, and what he's referring to here is how you can take the minor third and slightly bend it into the, like towards the major third. You hear that move in the blues. You're not playing up to the major third just yet. You're getting this space between. You hear that a lot. You know, there are players that use it a lot. Patrick Therian, he said on the BB Box, please, if you go to my channel, there is an awesome lesson. I mean, it's an awesome lesson about the BB Box. It's really in depth. I say go there. I'm new to live stream and I love those tones. Good. Then that's where they are. They're right there. I want a Taylor GS Mini Mahogany. Guys, main guitar. Should I get one? The GS Minis are pretty awesome. The GS Minis are pretty awesome guitars. I'll tell you that. I have a student personally who I'll see tomorrow at 10:30 who's looking for a GS Mini Mahogany, actually. Hello, Red. How are you? Good to see you. So there are two songs that somebody asked me what was my last aha moment before I get going, and I'm going to go on record right now, and I'll tell you what my latest aha moment was about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago or before I started this. So somebody emailed me twice, like, hey, can you do it in the mind of Jimmy Page for No Quarter? And I was like, whoa, like the soloing. I was like, man, I never even thought about that. Let's take a look. So I listened to it a couple times, and I'm like, well, that ain't no standard stuff right there. And so I went on the YouTubes, and I was like, you know what? Like, there's a guy who covers it like insanely good. And on the forums, they say E major, and I was like, E major. And of course, it's gonna be like a modal comparison, like, you know, C sharp to E major would be like a C sharp minor, or like an F sharp Dorian type thing. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, So I started playing around. I started chasing notes, and I think my aha moment, you know, I think it was, I was like, oh man, no, it's C sharp Dorian. And I was like, I'm willing to bet on this. But that was like a very limited like stitch method like study. When I do this stuff, I study it and I, you know, cross everything. But you know, like. And then the whole solo. It sounded more. It had a C sharp drum. I could be totally wrong, but like I was like, oh. So that was it right there. So that's definitely might be in the works, right? So I gotta watch the time because I actually have a FaceTime lesson at 8:15. So some more questions. Good to see you all. Can you show us Jerry's chicken picking technique? No, I'm not a chicken picker at all. And so like Stitch Brothers give me a lot of aha moments. You rock, bro. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Ian. You demand. Thank you. GS Mini, right? Can you play my favorite song? Well, depends. What's your favorite song? It's like Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. I don't know. That's from. Is that from Naked Gun? Well, let's think off topic. Got a favorite film, like a favorite movie? I have plenty of favorite films. Let's see. Yeah, say hi to the wife. No problem, man. Breathe through your stuff. All of me, all of me. I can look it up. No. Thank you, man. Can you do a lesson on Deal? I could. You and Sean Daniel are my favorite. Sean's here. Are you a fan of Widespread Panic? I'm not really a big fan of Widespread. I don't know why. I've tried. Scarlet Begonias Jam, I did that last week. Picking Hand, yeah. Well, I'll talk a lot about the Picking Hand. I'll do some videos about your Picking Hand. Well, it doesn't matter. Favorite film? L.A. Confidential. Usual Suspects. And what else is there? And I think Citizen Kane was really good. Do you ever want to play a Fender Strat? No. Can you give any advice for writing music and guitar? Yeah, it can come from anywhere, man. It really can come from anywhere, but I would say, like, I don't know if you've seen my Easy Songwriting Starter Pack. Start there. Start realizing how songs work. I think the fear of not knowing how things works prevents you from actually doing it. So there's a a video on my channel about like just learning the basics of how like music and melody and chords go together. And I think once you see that, if you haven't seen it, and you go, oh, okay, cool, then you can just start writing some song progressions and kind of like kickstart it. Passing through Sarasota next Friday with my son, hunting for what? Nice. Email me, Tom. If you're passing through Sarasota next Friday, I will love to get a chance to meet you in the flesh. Got a question. If I'm playing G Mixolydian, why does it feel like there's a resolve on the C note and not on the G note? Ooh, okay, so because... Okay, oh man, that's very, very important. I got it going. Okay, because the G Mixolydian is a C major scale, okay? So, like, all things point to your major root note. Like, that's very, very important. But what happens is it's not necessarily the scale that's leading you back to the C. Well, no, the scale is going to lead you back to the C. But the chord progression, that's the thing. Your chord progression has to have a strong resolve to the G. So it's got to have a D, and it has to, maybe a D minor, but it has to pull back like a cadence, 5-1, D to G. You have to have, or F to G, something like a flat 7 to a 1. The chord progression needs to pull that song to a G in order for that pull to disappear. But if you're just noodling on a G Mixolydian scale, you're gonna be pulled to that major root note. You got to have a chord progression that warrants that pull back to that Mixolydian root note. Oh my God, man! I'm gonna screw it up. There you go. All right, so stupid. All right, guys, I have to go. Yeah, hope that made sense. Did that make sense about the Mixolydian thing? Did that Mixolydian rant? If you're playing a mode scale by itself, like no backtrack, no nothing, that major scale root note is going to have a lot of pull. It's going to have a lot of pull. And so you need that chord progression to pull it home. Oh, I'm so glad it made sense. Happy birthday, by the way. Yes. Okay, listen, guys, thank you so much. I'm sorry that YouTube screwed up the notification. No, and I'm sorry. I know it ends when you arrive. I'm sorry, but you can watch the playback, and I'll address you. Who was that? Just so you get a little props. Aristolius? I have no idea how to say that, but you're the man. Thanks. Good seeing you again. Top again. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys rock. I'll have another professional video next week. Can you play the third movement of the fifth? Yeah, of course. We'll actually play that tomorrow, Don. See you guys.